Hi everyone, for tonight's nightcap and review, I'm having a soda and I'll be reviewing Daughter of Sherwood by Kingmaker. This is a first in the series of Robin Hood and Her Merciless Men. It does leave on a cliffhanger, so keep that in mind because it is the start to a series. I did receive this as an arc from Book Siren, but of course I'm going to give my honest opinion. These are the tropes. And these are the content warnings. I will say the second one there, I did add myself. So if you pull up the book, it's not going to be in there, but keep that second one in mind. I felt like it should have been added. So I'm giving this book 3.75, and I'll get into that in a bit. But first, what's this book about? Well, this book is about Robin, who has since become the heiress to her family's estate, as it were. Her older brother, has since passed away as a soldier in King Richard's War. So she does live with her mother and father. However, her mother is basically on death's doorstep. She is very ill. Her and her father have never gotten along. You know, he has a very set mindset of what she as an heiress should be, and she doesn't fit that. And as the time has gone on, he has gotten increasingly violent and abusive towards her. So she is struggling to against the restrictions as the heiress and the expectation of her stature, or station I should say, and then her father's just putting all that on top of her. So she's just struggling with that and trying to find her true self, or be as much of her true self as she can be. Her uncle comes to visit because it is his sister, who is her mother, that is sick. He comes with a proposal that they basically should take her mother to a specialist or a special doctor in another village to get her seen to, because he has apparently a great track record of healing people. The father is resistant at first, but eventually does cave in and says, okay, we can take her, but Robin, you need to stay behind and stay with the estate. She doesn't want to stay behind. She wants to stay with her mother. After a lot of back and forth, the next morning, while her father's basically loading up the whole castle into these carriages they have, she stows away in one of the luggages, or in the carriage. So eventually she is discovered by her uncle, who kind of knew she was there, but her father finds out she's there, and basically they've gone too far and they can't turn around. So she is along for the trip to hopefully get her mother to a healer and get healed. Thing is, they are basically attacked halfway through by these men who come out of the forest, attacking and unaliving the soldiers that were there to protect them. Robin and her uncle are taken hostage, while her father sees that Robin's taken hostage, flies off with her mother. So Robin's in the hopes that her father's going to get help and make sure her mother gets help as well. But she is abandoned essentially by her father with her uncle to these men who just unalived all their soldiers and attacked their group. So Robin and her uncle have to try and figure out now how to escape capture from these men, especially before they discover that the young lad they took is in fact a young lady. Robin currently is presenting as a male or in male clothing, and they think he is a young lord instead of a young lady heiress. So they don't want these unscrupulous or murderous men to find out they have in fact captured a woman. So again, I'm giving this book 3.75. It is a Robin Hood retelling, hidden gender, why choose, morally gray men. So everything I love. And I did enjoy a lot of the aspects of this book. But I will say, Robin, I think I had a little bit of trouble connecting to this book because of Robin. At the start, I really felt like she was going to be that really strong, fiery person. And at times you really do see that fire within her at the beginning. But I felt like at certain times she was just along for the ride in situations where she should be reacting. I felt like she was just along for the story at that point. And there was a lot of compelling things in the book that kept me interested, such as the merciless men or the merry men. And they were very compelling at those times when she was kind of just along for the ride. So they are what kept me interested until about the middle end is when Robin really started to spring into action, which is why I started to get really into the story and really enjoying it. So when she actually was involved in the storyline, I felt this story went up so much better. And again, I liked the way she was interacting with the merciless men or merry men. They were very compelling, and I did like their backstories. We don't get real in-depth to them, but we do find out some of their backstory, and it was compelling. I will also say, this is again a why choose. She is with 2 men at one time, and the other times it's 4 guys. So she is with the other 2 men separately. There is no group situation with everybody. I'm hoping that happens in the future, but in this book, there are only a couple scenes, and they were spicy and they were hot and very well done. I really did enjoy them. Like, they were hot. I'll also say is that along with this book leaving on a cliffhanger, there were a few twists and surprises in this book that I really enjoyed reading that I didn't see coming. So I'm excited to see, because they didn't quite close out those story parts of it, that where it continues into the next book. So this, again, does leave on a cliffhanger. There is going to be a next in the series, and I'm really intrigued to see what she does with the story, especially with how it ended. Robin actually, little spoiler, taking charge and kind of becoming the leader. That's when things started to really get interesting. And with that starting off like that in the next book, I see no reason why that book won't be a 4 or more for me. But with just the way this started, at times it just really lagged, where at Robin, I was not enjoying her. But at the beginning, I saw so much potential. And at the end, I saw that potential come to light, and I really enjoyed it, along with the really spicy scenes. So I do recommend this book. It did end on a 3.75 for me, but I totally anticipate the next book to really take off for me, and I am excited to see what happened to the story, because the way it left off, I need to know what happens. So this book will be available February 6th, so make sure to give it a chance and give it a download, and I hope everyone has a good night and happy readings.